This is my Module 9 Assistive Technology reflection. The role of assistive technology in the classroom, in my opinion, is just to kind of level the playing field or to give access to those students that might have a disability to have the same opportunities or as close to the same opportunities as the other students. I've had some experience in the past with assistive technology. I worked as the special education teacher in a functional special education classroom for a year. So there were a lot of assistive technology devices that we used and strategies to help give students the best learning environment that we could. Multiple students were in wheelchairs or used walkers. We were working with one student on some eye gaze technology, trying to get that going. We also used switches for toys, for communication, also PEX systems and visual schedules. So I've had quite a bit of experience, but it was interesting to read the article that we had this week because I could relate so well to the lack of training that teachers have on how to use these devices. And that was my first job out of college, and it was terrifying because I didn't really know how to use all the devices that my students really needed. So that article was definitely relatable for me. The applications that I looked at would have been communication and that is just giving students the ability to interact with their peers in a different way than maybe that they could. So my example would have been that wasn't mentioned, a switch. You could use a switch as a yes or no for a nonverbal student. And I worked with a student and did this before, and she had a wheelchair with some head support. And so we mounted the not the big switch button, but little switches on each side. So she knew that when she went this way, her switch would say yes, and when she went this way, her switch would say no. So we could at least give her the opportunity to make choices or to respond to, a friend's request. Do you want to play? And she could say yes or no. So the second application I looked at was mobility, which is just any sort of movement, going upstairs, walking. And there are a lot of different devices that can help with movement. The example that wasn't mentioned I thought of was just a handicap accessible vehicle. I think that it's important for a lot of our students to make sure they can get to and from places really in a safe manner and a comfortable manner. So that would be a device that would improve mobility and help them have more mobility. And the third application I looked at was the environmental interaction piece, and that was just activities associated with daily living. And it made me think of things, just out in the community that help people with a disability to, enjoy the things that we get to enjoy. So we're in the process in the town I live in, they're building a handicap accessible park, or maybe it would be another example could be Braille out in the community on the bathroom doors, or the neighborhood I walk my dog in, the crosswalk, like you hit the button and it talks to you and it says wait and then tells you when you can cross. So that would be some technology to help visually impaired people as well as physically impaired people to enjoy the community and function kind of as we do as well. One additional technology that was not listed in the module, I was kind of looking around for this and I saw something that kind of sparked my interest because it sounded like it's probably not super expensive and could be used pretty easily with little training. So that's what every teacher wants to hear. It was a talking calculator, so it helps students with dyslexia because they can hear the numbers rather than have to read them. So it made them easier for or made it easier for them to check their assignments, to read numbers, and to do calculations. So that was my other example of some assistive technology that was not listed.